Let's get ready to rumble.
Y'all ready for this? I kind of went up.
Dang, bro.
Bitch, huh?
Cracked voice. That's fine. Everything's good.
Ugh,
Great. Perfect.
That's good. That's good.
All right.
You can tell that wasn't scripted. All right, what's on the docket today, boys?
Buckets, pucks, balls.
Is hockey considered a ball sport?
Puck. I said puck.
I know. It was a general question. Well, I
no.
get it that it's a
I would
ball.
say no. Yeah.
A ball has
It is
to
a
be
stick.
round.
It's a stick sport.
Well, it is
though.
round. I don't know.
It's in the, I guess, traditional sport category. I don't know. No, I guess because the Olympics have been around forever. But whatever. I don't know where I'm fucking going with that. I just saw the hockey puck and I was like, oh, ball sports.
Yeah, puck it. Whatever.
Balls.
Puck it.
That was punny as fuck, Kenny.
Wait, I said it.
Ryan said it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just repeated it.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
Fucking James.
Oh, shit. All right.
Anyways, all right, boys. Listen, we talked about it. Super Bowl football season has concluded, unfortunately. But what does that mean? We got basketball, we got hockey, we got golf, we got baseball. We got a whole new sports season starting up. Who's excited?
Me.
I can see. John,
like
you look
that.
great.
We got
Hockey's
pickleball, we got wiffle ball, we got spike ball. We got a lot of sports to talk about.
I did see, like, Andre Agassi, the former tennis player, in a live pickleball. Like, pickleball was on TV. They had a whole open competition about it. I didn't know it was that far along.
It's big time, dude.
I also have seen on the Apple Watch, I don't know what you guys have noticed, but our boy here, John Straw, participating in a little pickleball.
We play a lot, man. Come join us at the RDV.
Do you really?
a
I love playing
Dude,
pickleball.
there's a bunch of courts in Orlando.
There is,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
Like,
I know. My
let me
boss
know.
plays all the time.
Let's
He
go.
actually tried to go amateur to pro.
Are you in
is
a league?
amateur.
Or you just like
No,
for fun?
I just
'Cause
get
RDV
hus-
runs a league.
Yeah, they do run a league. No, I go open time, just and then they get competitive. They try to coach you up.
You said
Right.
you get hustled? Is that
Oh,
what
we
you
got
said?
Bray and I lost a couple of matches to some
Lydia plays a lot too. She really likes
some
it.
We got four of you guys right here. Who would win?
I mean,
Are we going these teams?
However you guys want to do it.
I think this
Yeah,
would be a
we-
pretty
let's
good
do it.
competition.
We got the
I mean, do
experience.
it.
it's a fun game.
Next time you come up, Kenny, we got the courts. We got the gym access. We'll record a
I'll bring my
pickleball.
paddle with me.
I'm game.
We'll bring
Okay.
it.
All right.
We'll kick some fucking
Ty,
ass,
you can
bro.
come too.
They don't
I think
even
we'd get
Bring
it.
they don't
the
even know what the
cameras.
fuck we're
It'd
We'll
be a fun
record
video.
it.
We need the recording,
We'll
yeah.
record it.
Yeah.
I'll just strap a GoPro.
I live
The
for-
amount of times I've heard I'm going to strap a GoPro to myself during an event and it's happened has not happened.
Okay, well, first we got to remember the equipment. If we remember the equipment, it will happen.
That's step one.
If I give you the SD card, then
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, we've had hurdles there. I'm more
would
happy
be
about
a-
hockey though.
That would be a good competition.
Dude, it's fun.
I think it'd be a relatively even matched. I think
No,
Kenny and
no
I win.
hockey for you.
I think Kenny and I win.
Get the fuck out of here. No way.
Oh, facts.
Absolutely not.
Oh, facts.
I think
100%.
Ryan gets whooped early in, and then
Listen, Michelle-
mental. Just,
Michelle Salimos is a tennis player, so I've got the
right.
I've got the jeans. Carries into pickleball.
I would love to watch you play in jeans.
Well, last time we played someone in jeans in flag football.
Yeah, we don't need to bring that up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut your fucking mouth.
Wow. Disaster.
Pickleball's fun.
Yeah, it's great. Ping
Pickleball.
pong's fun too.
Ping pong.
But anyway, we got hockey. We do have baseball.
We got basketball.
We got basketball.
And we got golf.
We got
I like
golf.
the contact sports. Let hockey ride through. Everything else is non-contact this time of year.
This is the period of time,
This time of
year
year,
where
yeah.
I watch
Yeah.
absolutely nothing that's sport related.
Yeah, get caught up on life.
That's July
Just-
and August, and most of June.
I really rarely watch football too when football's on, so that's
We
a
know.
different story. That's just who I am. But yeah,
I've been getting into hockey more the last couple of years. My brother's a huge hockey guy. We actually we went to a lot of Florida Panther games growing up. My dad was he shared season tickets, but then I got away from it. But he's brought me back. He's a huge Leafs fan, so I've been following them for the family.
Yeah, we've been to a bit of Panthers games too over the last couple of years. They're fun. They're awesome.
Well, they're good now.
I don't wanna talk
Yeah, I was at
about
a playoff game.
Yeah.
For
I don't
them,
wanna talk about
last
hockey.
year. Last year, yeah, I was at
They
a.
went all the way to the Cup final.
Yeah, I was at a playoff game. And that was really fun. The house was packed at that. It was really cool. So it was a good event. And it's not far from where we are. So it's crazy because it's like they've adopted that later. When you go up north, Devils games, Flyers games are pretty packed and busy all the time. But not as much with Panthers.
Panthers are first in the Atlantic right now. You know who's first in the Metro? The New York Rangers.
All right.
How many divisions are in hockey?
Well,
4.
There's 4.
Two
So you
in
got
each.
the Western and then
So
Eastern.
they don't do like the AFL and the NFC.
They do. In a sense.
NFC,
Whereas East and
A-
West.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
But-
East
And
and
then there's
West.
2 within each.
Okay, got it. That's
They
how
go by
do
a point system,
it. Atlantic and Metro. That's all.
which is kind of similar to hockey or soccer.
Soccer.
point system?
Soccer. Like yes.
when you win, you get a point. Or no, when you
2
win, you
points
get
for a
three,
win.
3 or 2 points.
Overtime
ties,
losses.
1 or
Yeah.
whatever.
As the most tenured hockey fan, most experienced, most knowledgeable, what are your thoughts on the conferences specifically? I think it's to the benefit of the Rangers. Where what division are they in? You said
The Metro.
the Metro is a lot weaker than the Atlantic in terms of because you've got the Lightning, the Panthers, the Leafs, there's another team out. There's another strong team where it's. Do you agree with that, or is it pretty even? Because that's just the feedback I hear from Panthers fans, Leafs fans, and
Today.
Lightning fans. That
Today, yeah.
today,
But
today,
also,
that it
I
is
mean-
super
But look
leaning
at
that way.
15 years ago. though.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what it looked like
I think
15
it's
years
like
ago.
every
It was the Metro was the most competitive.
Okay.
Yeah, and also like what NFL, what baseball, like every conference goes through its own like
Yeah.
dominance.
Yeah, I'm just.
Where are
I'm
the
just curious.
Penguins?
But also like
And
the,
the Capitals.
Hurricanes, like the Hurricanes are pretty freaking nasty. Like they got kicked out last year, or was it 2 years ago? Like they almost made a run for it. They whooped the Rangers. That's for damn sure. So I mean, it just depends.
Growing up, I always remembered Penguins, Bruins, and Capitals.
Which
What would the Penguins be in? Metro?
They're in the Metro, I think.
Yeah.
you got the Flyers. Like
yeah, you
there's
Flyers,
some
Rangers,
dominant
Devils,
teams.
of course.
Yeah,
but
like,
but again, 15 years ago, the Metro was stacked. It's like where the money flows. I feel like where they drafted more people, and then it just started to pick up. Obviously, the Lightning now is not a team like it was 15 years ago. Like now they're pretty solid.
Speaking of the Lightning and fandom, Johnny, who's the most knowledgeable hockey person you've ever come across?
your wife's family is dominant in knowing every single detail about the NHL, and it's quite impressive. I do not know a family that knows more than that family.
Specifically, my mother-in-law and sister-in-law.
Sister, yeah. They are very
Lydia's middle
credible.
sister.
Season ticket holders, right?
Yes.
For the Lightning.
Oh, okay, wow.
But they just love hockey. They eat, sleep, breathe hockey. They do fantasy hockey. They do it all. But they know the history.
That'd be tough.
And I think Johnny started quizzing her and was like, "Do you know this, that?" And then she's like, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah. This year, blah blah." And like, it's insane.
Not even a hesitation in the answer, like
Yeah.
audible ready.
It's quite impressive, which is also why I said a little bit earlier under my breath, I do not want to talk hockey because it tends to be the topic of conversation that always gets brought up in the household, which probably makes me feel like I understand all of our wives when we talk football.
true.
But I thought that was a funny tidbit. I just had to throw that.
They're
in.
very.
They've
very
gone to. I think their plan is to kind of like how we've wanted to go to a bunch of different college stadiums and NFL stadiums. They've gone to a lot of different hockey stadiums, and they get memorabilia from each one. Like, yes, they're Lightning fans, but they like players. For Christ's sakes, I'll have to get a picture and then I'll put it up on screen. But for Christmas, Victoria, my sister-in-law, bought her mom a fucking banner that they had up on a pole. It's massive. It's
Yeah.
like 10 feet of a fucking hockey player that she loves. I'm like, where are you putting that in your house? I haven't been to the house since Christmas, so I'm curious if it's up somewhere. I was like, oh, just put it over above your bed.
Yeah, they're
Like, fuck it. Where else
It's
are you gonna
nuts.
put it? It's a high ceiling in that room. So
like their knowledge, their understanding, and like their awareness of the history of hockey just blows me out of the water. Like I can't even compete with how credible they are. So
Would you say hockey had to reinvent itself in the last? Like, I know that one of the big rule changes to speed up the game was that they removed the 2-line pass with center ice, basically, because I feel like the game was slowing down. There were so many I'm a little uneducated. That it wasn't offsides, but there was a lot of calls that slowed the game down. And once they took that rule out, it really opened up the scoring. And in the last 5 to 7 years, hockey's popularity has really come back, and even kind of.
The problem is, though, yes, hockey has had some challenges and issues, but depending on where you live, it is massive.
Yeah.
But the other fact is we forget to compare. NFL's had its challenges with trying to speed up the game. The MLB, every single year, I feel like we have the same conversation of how to speed up the game. So that's just happening as like society. We want to see now, score. I just feel like sometimes definitely hockey is putting that, but also baseball.
You didn't say basketball. What are they? Are they speed up the game?
Listen,
What's their problem?
NBA.
Shot clock, but they've had shot clock.
No, their problem is it's just the foul is just so soft.
Yeah,
it
well,
is
that
so
too, but
regular season is just
The last 2 minutes is like an hour.
I think
Yeah, it is. It is.
Hockey doesn't have that.
No.
no.
NFL can get that way, but it's because you got the 2 minute warning, and then how you stop the clock with getting out of bounds.
Basketball
and
has
stuff.
it the worst of the 2 minutes.
There's
100%.
time
So you get
management.
the
Baseball
free
doesn't
throws.
have that.
Baseball's game is just too
Baseball
long.
doesn't have
But that's
that.
why they put the pitch clock in,
Yeah.
which now has speeded things up a decent bit.
Drastically,
And
But you can go like 15 innings.
You can.
Yeah, but they put the person on second base to start in extra innings now, which then helps the team score quicker.
Yeah. So I mean, they've
Yeah.
made their
I didn't know that. When did that come
advancements
into
to
play?
speeding
A
up.
couple of years ago. Maybe last year, 2 years ago.
I think
crazy.
that the pitch clock was a big factor, which a
was.
lot of people were nervous about for baseball.
I was.
Too, because it's like, I mean, it's not a lot of time. I mean, you're asking like the key person there. Also, does it inhibit more injuries? Right? Like, there's certain things where you have to think about, but it really hasn't. It hasn't been a bad thing for the sport. We haven't seen much. It's only been a couple of years, but I mean, every sport's looking to speed things up.
Yeah.
I think the one thing with hockey is they're definitely more lenient on penalties. I would say lenient on penalties in some cases with physicality, but then also like their turnover.
Yeah.
Like it's like penalty, whistle, like the guy's going into the fucking box or they're dropping the puck within seconds. Like
Yeah.
they're just speed
Right.
is because they don't have to like, and also they're just flying around the ice. Think about if there's a pass interference call, right? A dude's 35 yards downfield. They got to come back. They got to reset the ball.
Yeah.
These guys are flying around like people are set like that in hockey.
What do you think about the shift times? I think 45 seconds, a minute, you're gassed,
People are
and then you are.
flying out.
That's why hockey is such an
crazy,
incredible
man.
sport. It is truly a team game where you have everybody on the bench playing pretty much.
Dude, people are flying
like
out to the
basketball.
point where they're hitting the fucking boards.
Right, basketball, one or
Basketball,
two
like-
players can change the entire dynamic.
Yeah.
Like,
Or
can carry a team all the way.
they'll keep players in for
Sure.
a longer period
Yeah,
of time
sure.
where
100%.
they're not really doing a shift change or a line change
100%.
like that.
Well, I think it goes like look at the size of a football field compared to like a basketball court or like a ice skating rink. Like it's just like
It's a
different.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
look
also
at-
the flow
you-
of the game.
If you're going to say so, well, I think flow of the game. I was going to say soccer is fucking just they are the creme de la creme of fucking
gosh, 90 minutes.
like cardio is unbelievable.
It's crazy.
They are.
In that field and
And they expanded the
I don't
sub
think
rule,
there's
but
a
still.
sport that can compete with the level of cardiovascular eliteness that those guys have.
cross
Yeah,
country.
I agree with that. From
endurance. I would say endurance wise, but look at hockey, dude.
hockey,
You are flying fast.
Oh, I'm not
You're
saying
going.
speed. I'm saying conditioning.
Conditioning.
Yeah,
Like
they've-
endurance.
We just said line changes are every minute or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
like it's
I agree.
However, I think the best athlete,
Quick burst versus.
they go,
Yeah,
like
that's crazy.
basketball. You think about you compare the size of someone who's huge in football to a basketball player. Like, I think the type
What did
of
you
athlete,
just say?
I said the type of athletes that play basketball, like most athletic.
Oh my
what I
God.
said.
Do we really
Oh my
need to go into
God.
a debate right now?
Oh my
dude?
God.
I'm just gonna sit here and listen.
This is like the fucking DB wide receiver.
Just
shit
give me
all over
like
again.
3 bullet points on why you think this, because I'm just like flabbergasted.
Because
at
you
this
have
point.
people at abnormal sizes moving and shifting and cutting and dunking. Like, how many people in the world can fucking dunk? And again, you look at people. You
making
look
a
at
smart
football.
argument.
You
That's
look
not-
at
that-
football. You
He's
look at
making a
football
smart
players.
argument.
6'3", 225 is a huge receiver. And then you compare that to someone in basketball. That's a tiny guard, right? You've got people at sizes 6'5",
So just 'cause of
6'7",
their
6'8",
size?
that can move laterally. They're fucking fast. I'm just saying that type of athlete. And you take that size at that speed and you put it in soccer, they're going to be unguardable. right, to score goals because they're the tallest person on the fucking court. You put it in football. Again, that size, that advantage trade-off from basketball to the other sports, like if they can play basketball, they're going to have the most success there.
So you're just saying because of their physical characteristics,
Yes.
you think that they're at a different level of
no.
athleticism than any other athlete in the world.
He made the comment of balance and coordination. He actually hit the right smart argument on athleticism. That's what his argument was. But being able to move the way they do is his argument, correct?
Yeah. Correct.
I'd argue though that if you're wanting to bring size into this category, there's a different size caliber when it comes to football than there is basketball. Yes, they have height.
Okay.
But they are not carrying that weight.
Okay.
And they are also not as physical. Now, I know basketball's physical. Not nearly to what it used to be.
But you're talking about offensive linemen and defensive linemen specifically?
No, linebackers.
Okay.
They're
Let's
big-ass
just-
motherfuckers.
Just because they're tall doesn't mean they're big, right? You can be 6'8" and
Of
be
course.
220.
You could be 6'8" and be Kevin Durant, who's a little twig, or you could be Shaq at 7
So,
foot.
What is their average weight
I'd have to look
at
that up.
6'8"?
when it comes to this, you can't get them.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Who's
go.
the guy in basketball? Was Zion?
Zion Williamson.
Zion.
That is a freak fucking athlete.
Yes.
That is, I would agree with you because he could play on the fucking football field and on the fucking basketball.
100%.
But what he does on a basketball court, I think, is a little bit more impressive than what he could probably do on a football field because everyone else is basically the same person.
That's what
All
I'm
right.
saying.
So I think he's an outlier in that, though.
Yeah.
Where
There's going to be outliers in each.
There's going to be.
When you look at Kevin Durant,
He's
look at
saying on average.
LeBron
look
James.
at Kevin Durant.
I agree. Look, Kevin
All right.
Durant is a twig.
Look at Steph Curry.
Steph Curry is a magician.
He's a twig.
He's also a twig, but he's 6'3". So you think he's tiny in
He's only
basketball?
6'3". I thought he was taller than that. I thought he was
You
at
think
least
he's tiny in
6'5".
basketball, but you put him in football and he is tall. Like I'm
All
just
right,
saying.
here we go. Here, I'm going to give you some statistics. From a 2023 standard, overall average height in the NBA is 6'6.5", and weight, which is incredibly not that big, is 216. I'm 216.
216.
Damn. That's the average weight?
216.52. For a center,
50
it's
pounds is just in our
251,
ass.
right? For a center, it's 251, right? But
Bony-ass
let's look at the
motherfuckers.
average height for a center is 6'11. So it's a bigger, like you're talking about
6'11", 250.
Yeah,
is what
so
you're talking about.
But that's max.
Correct.
That's not average. That's max. So you're talking top of the fucking chain here. Center average 6'11 and a quarter and 251 and a third.
But you're also talking guards as well that are
You're 6'11" in the
5'10 to
NFL,
6'2
you
at
gotta be
like
320
180 to 200.
Okay, well let's just look this up. Let's look at
You have
factual
to be.
information. Let's look at
Gotta be.
average.
You have
height
to have
and
more
weight.
size. You're just a piece of paper running out, floating in the wind.
216 average is nuts, man. At 6'6". Like, I'm gonna look up what the averages are in the
I
NFL,
always
'cause I
find
don't
it
know
very
this.
intriguing, the argument of who could transition better, basketball to football or football to basketball. You also see football to baseball too, just because of like quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Mainly,
Yeah.
but I mean, look at
Slideshow
Deion
here.
Sanders,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's quite funny how those three ball sports are kind of put in that caliber. No one's going to be on an ice. No one can go on ice.
No.
But I wonder if a hockey player could fare well in some of these other ball sports. I feel like they probably could. I feel like hockey translates well to lacrosse, obviously.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it's just different.
The best chance they have is football.
I mean, their coordination
Think
is
so?
all based off
For
being on
hockey?
blades.
I think hockey, because of tracking the puck and
Defense?
following the puck, I think their hand-eye coordination might be a little bit better for baseball.
oh.
Not saying, but
I could see
I will
linebackers
say
coming
this,
out of a hockey background.
Right, exactly.
I will-
the
yeah.
physicality translates over the
well,
easiest
just
from
being
hockey
able
to football.
angles
Being
and all
able
that
to skate
stuff.
is just half the battle, right? Like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
flying around on skates.
I'm thinking a hockey defenseman. I'm thinking a DB or linebacker too, because from backwards to forward, that transition, that hand-eye coordination.
The only other thing I
Talk
could
about guys
potentially
that are
see is
big.
a running back.
Yeah.
So here's what you're looking
Or
at.
back in the day, fullback, where you're just fucking.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a big dude in hockey.
Go ahead.
Average height and weight in the NFL is 6'2", 245. So you're talking about what?
30 pounds
30
more.
pounds more and 4 inches less. So I mean,
The correlation there. I mean, you're talking about, you're packing on an extra
you think that 4
4 to
inches
5
more
pounds per inch.
is more of a powerful attribute towards athleticism than 30 pounds, is basically what you're saying.
To be, I think, I guess the way I'm looking at it too is I'm looking more at the skill positions. I'm not looking as much interior because I'm thinking Allen Iverson, who was absolutely tiny on the basketball court. Could have came into the could have played football and been a mid-tier to a larger size receiver.
But when he
with
gets
speed.
hit, what happens?
You could say that about any receiver though, outside of maybe DK Metcalf, who's a physical specimen.
Yeah, dude's fucking freak.
But he's you can't say that about any receiver. A receiver has the ability to jump, catch, and run, and also get hit. An NBA person has the ability to jump, catch, and run. We don't know the get hit part.
I think the only translative positions are going to be your tight end, receiver, DB, safety for these two sports that we're talking about.
Everything.
Anything else, they're too specialized other than a quarterback in baseball.
The other
agree with
factor
that.
you
You're
have to
not
look
talking
at,
about interior with linemen.
They're just
Fair.
there's a complete
Yeah,
the amount
agreed.
of weight and muscle and size that you carry as a running back is not a proponent for success in basketball. Now, am I saying that Christian McCaffrey can't step on a basketball court and dominate if he's got coordination to shoot and stuff? Fuck no, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But I think the body type correlation is more along the receiver and that kind of stuff where like what they're doing physically, jumping, catching, ball movement, shifting weight, changing directions, those things just all happen on both balls sports.
I guess what I mean, yeah, those skill sets carry if you're
Yes, thank you.
carry over and translate basketball to football, vice
Better.
versa, where football
Tight
to
end too.
basketball.
Did I mention tight end?
Yeah,
I think
you
LeBron
did.
James could be a tight end.
Oh my God, LeBron James would tear up the NFL.
How fast
but,
is he, though?
But here's the
Allegedly.
thing. Here's the thing.
Allegedly.
Here's the thing.
I don't know how fast. How
course it's
fast is he?
allegedly.
Though? I know that's a serious question. I don't know basketball.
Probably like 4 or 5.
You think he can run a 4
Yeah.
5
Yes,
40?
yes,
yeah,
yes.
He's
Even
big. He's
even
long,
now.
like, strides,
True, their
man.
strides are
Yes.
So here's my one point I want to make though. We say LeBron can get thrown onto a football field as a tight end and dominate. The only thing is, that's if he has no experience in the sport. I don't think he can dominate because like the dude does not know how to keep his head on a swivel on a fucking football field. Things happen way faster.
Well,
on a fucking
to his
football
credit,
field.
you only can. I mean, he
You
did
have-
play both, and
if-
he was successful at both. He
if-
played high school football and
He
could have
needed to
had
play in
offers.
college. We all can
Well, of
agree
course.
college to high school was different.
Of course.
So I think the argument can be made is very theoretical. It's hard
Yes,
to really
yes.
say that he would dominate because I don't think he's got enough play time. As
It's all
I'm going to go
hypothetical.
back to Mike Tyson's
Definitely
good old
hypothetical.
quote. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And hey, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that
he gets
when you-
rocked and then he runs. Chop block.
I think like, dude, hockey is a different level of physicality. Football is a level of physicality, but we've seen it come down. We've seen every sport come down levels over the years
Yes.
because of just health awareness and potential concussion issues and things like that, right? So enforcers were a big thing in hockey, which aren't today as much because of the fact that there's just health risks that have come up more in modern society. But I think that when you add a level of physicality mixed with athleticism, you cannot say that a person is going to perform the same with and without physicality as a contributing factor. I just don't see it. I think that if you get hit hard enough, which is going to happen in hockey, which is going to happen in football, I don't think that you play at your peak 100% of the time. Like, you do get kind of bumped into in basketball, maybe, but then it's a foul. Like, they're playing at a different level more consistently without having to have the same amount of risks as
Sure.
physical sport.
Sure, I don't.
And I
disagree
think
with
that
from a
there's just a
physicality
different
standpoint.
level of athleticism that comes along with adding physicality into the mix.
I think I didn't describe it as well in the beginning. I think what I meant was the skills required to play basketball can translate top athletes in basketball. Their skill sets can translate over, and they could go and probably it's more likely that they could come into football and dominate at an easier clip than any other transitional sport.
Do you
So-
think dominate or just play?
be successful?
hold their own.
All right, be successful. Be a successful.
I still don't agree with that.
So you think a basketball player can go into the NFL and be more dominant at wide receiver or running back? Say that?
Yeah.
Fair? Okay.
So like
Skill
if-
position. We'll
so
call
we
it
just
skill
saw,
position.
like,
All right,
Skill
so let's say
position. Skill position.
Okay, so let's look at an average Joe.
Sure.
One of us in here. Do you think if you played a full game in basketball, you would have a better chance of being more dominant versus a full game in the NFL? As an average Joe who doesn't have a better athleticism in one sport or the other.
I see where you're going with
I
this.
see where you're going with that. It would.
Okay, and this is a hard one because that's how I think about it. But then also add it to this.
I'd say
Let's-
basketball because all I got to do is be able to hit threes.
Exactly.
So that's like the difference. And then I take it a step further, like You add hockey to it. You got to be able to skate. You got to be able to move as quick as you can on the court as you can on ice, which is completely different.
Yeah.
And then we'll take it even a step further. Somebody who hits the ball 3 times out of 10 is a Hall of Famer in the MLB.
Right.
Yeah.
You think you could put an average Joe out there and say that they can dominate or at least hit the ball in 10 at-bats? I don't know. So is technically maybe the MLB harder, and is the hockey harder than maybe NBA and...
I didn't say harder.
No,
I said
that's
skills.
a good point, John.
It's interesting.
I don't
You
disagree
get
on
a-
that argument.
You don't have to be a hitter in baseball. You can switch hit.
You can pitch.
Yeah,
You
you
do
can-
everything
you
else.
can pitch.
You can
But-
bunt. You don't even got
Just get your
Good
bat out
luck,
there.
bro.
I'll
Like,
tell you what.
Have you ever seen a 95-mile-an-hour ball come past you?
Seen it. I seen the guy start the throw, and then I seen it hit the glove. I haven't seen it.
I had an opportunity to stand like at an at-bat with a 95-mile-an-hour ball. Like, just dude, it is insane. Like, it's like out of the fingers and then like smoke in a glove behind you. You're like, what the fuck just happened?
Hey, James.
It's fast, man.
James, blink real quick. The ball just went by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the MLB.
Yeah.
It's like woof, and you hear it.
Did I
like,
blink fast enough?
I don't know. I don't know if I spoke quick enough. I don't know. But the ball's past you. Strike one.
And you're right. With Deion Sanders, absolutely said like coming in and playing baseball is more difficult than football.
Why has just a question real quick?
It's
Why
interesting,
has no athlete, and maybe they have, I don't know. Let me ask this first. Has an athlete ever went from football to basketball and like NFL, like pro level? We've seen like baseball and football.
The
We've
seasons,
seen that multiple
the
times.
seasons overlap. That's probably why. That's why you see football,
Baseball.
baseball
yeah.
between
Baseball
Bo
and football
Jackson.
also overlap.
They do
No,
not.
they don't.
Yes,
no,
they
don't.
do.
They do for okay. Sorry, they
Because
do with the
didn't
playoffs.
Deion play a
They-
baseball game and then go play a
You're
football
right.
game?
Yes,
You're
but if
right.
you
I
look at the
apologize.
college
So
level-
it's not a large
Correct.
Yeah.
chunk of it.
Hockey, basketball start in
is
October. That's the
seasonality.
middle of the football season. That's probably why too you don't
yeah.
see it.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably
Agreed.
basketball though. Growing up, like in like high school, basketball is a spring sport, right? It's
Yeah.
not a fall sport.
It's a winter sport, but it's still late
Winter?
enough. You do see some basketball
But I guess January is winter.
in college where they play both sports. You see more football than baseball, but you do see football, basketball for some.
But that's when you start to see, like at the college level, you'll start to see March Madness, right? Like high school football, high school basketball starts, and well, football ends, like is done, right? In high school,
Right.
And then you're going to see things start to like really bleed into seasons as you escalate the level, like NBA and college level. They just have more extended seasons. They're not segmented as much. Yeah. So yeah, you're right though. That's probably why. But you have seen the crossover with NFL athletes and baseball.
Yeah, 100%. And but
I wonder why, other than seasonality. If that
it's the
made-
hand-eye coordination because it's mainly quarterbacks and then Deion and Bo. Literally.
And Deion and Bo are arguably one of the freakish athletes of all time.
guaranteed.
Well,
they
Michael
they
Jordan.
could have probably went and played any sport.
Well, Michael
Jordan too.
Yeah, but not a knock on Jordan. His love and passion was actually baseball, which is crazy to think
Yeah.
of how dominant he is an NBA basketball player. But it wasn't really the best.
He
run
still
from
made it,
him. He was
quote unquote, professionally.
He was better than me. Better than us.
Welcome to Hot Takes, where we talk about debatable topics. Today's debatable topic is who is the GOAT, Jordan or LeBron James?
As a Miami Heat fan, and since he played for the Miami Heat, I will go with the quote unquote king, LeBron James.
John?
I'm torn here. I'm going to go with Michael Jordan. I'm going to go with Michael Jordan.
I say Michael Jordan, too.
Did you just like do a whole soliloquy conversation with the mic?
Yes, I did.
Again with the soliloquy.
I know it's the word of the day for me. Whatever.
James?
You know, he's got the same name as me, just it's his last name.
LeBron James.
So I'm gonna go with Jordan. You gotta go with Jordan.
Yeah, I think Jordan. I think he's just an amazing athlete all around.
Okay. Fair. I mean, they're top two. Number one. Like, those are the top two right now. So let's go with the obvious.
It depends on how you talk about GOAT topics,
Let's-
right?
let's
If
go with
it's
the
championships,
obvious.
Isn't it Bill Russell or whatever the fuck?
Hey, these are my arguments, damn it. Are you switching? You coming over here?
No,
Why
I'm just
Jordan?
saying. Why
For you
Jordan?
guys. Yeah. You, all three of you
Johnny,
said
I
it.
feel like you might be able to say some good stuff. On
Statistically,
Okay. Yes, let's go statistically. Hit me with it.
Oh, boy.
Kenny.
I
Statistically, why Jordan?
just think that given and this is like always the
More
the thing
defensive
is
player
just
of the
like-
year, more rings.
Yeah.
statistics right there.
And then this is always like so I was going to say that, but then here's the issue, right? They're always like, oh, well, look at the level of competition, right? But I do think that
Did more in less time.
massive impact. I think he did more in less time. I think that
He revolutionized the game, changed the game.
okay.
Sneakers don't become basketball's branding mechanism without Jordan.
Yeah, you hear like, what are you wearing? Jordans, not James's.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
Wish it was James's.
Give me a pair of James's.
I already have a difficult job with my name. Am I going to go by Jim and Jimmy some point in my life? I don't know. Okay, more statistics.
I think the facts just really
Do you
go-
have statistics up right now?
Maybe not.
Who's got more points in 10 years beginning in the league?
I'd have to.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't
So-
go there because
so if you
I
go-
don't say lifetime.
If
let's
you
stick
go
on the
points,
points, though. Let's
if you
stick on the
go
points,
points,
though.
LeBron's been in the league longer.
Correct.
Yes.
He has.
And when did Jordan score his last point per se? And what was it?
I don't think within the first 10 years is a
No,
is a
I
valid
know it
argument.
wasn't.
Let's
I
just
know
say
it
this:
wasn't.
who's a better? Do you look at LeBron as a scorer? Is he a top scorer when you evaluate his game?
I mean, I think he scores a lot, but he's not clutch.
He's not clutch.
He doesn't have the clutch
I
factor.
love that one.
factor.
He's not clutch. Absolutely not. However,
Compared to Jordan.
he's not. He is not. In the postseason, on go-ahead shots in the final 5 seconds of the fourth quarter of overtime, Michael Jordan is 5 of 11, 45%, 3 buzzer beaters, totally good. LeBron James is 7 of 15, 47%, 5 buzzer beaters. So statistically, there's not that big of a difference in clutchness.
And then perspective. Johnny?
Hey, John.
I could be completely wrong here, but that stat that you're pulling up is from 2018, so that could be a little bit off.
That means LeBron would have more.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
He's already got more.
Here's
That's
the
fine.
thing.
6
But
years.
Here's the thing.
percentage could go down
Could go down.
drastically.
It
when it came to the clutch moments and LeBron made those shots, were they clutch enough to where it was a pivotal moment in, say, a playoff run where they needed to do it like a game 6 or a game 4 to close it out? Like, did he make the shot when it needed to be made, or was it just like a
I
game
can tell
2?
you in game 7. I can tell you in game 7 against the Spurs, he hit the clutch go-ahead shot to seal it. Now, again, listen, Jordan is 6 for 6 with 6 MVPs.
I think the other thing you look at too is like at the end of the day, I think the brand of the individual is a really good representation of their success. It's a unit of measurement. The Jordan brand is bigger than the LeBron James brand on all fronts.
Getting excited.
Fact.
Getting excited.
Fact.
I mean, yes, I can't argue that like the
Well,
Jordan
who was?
brand.
I this is just curiosity that killed the cat here. Trying to be non-biased.
You should be biased to Jordan.
I understand that, but who was bigger worldwide,
Jordan,
LeBron
I
or
think.
Jordan?
I mean, if you
I
look
think
at
Jordan.
it, Jordan
I was gonna bring
definitely
it up.
with the 1992 Dream Team
Yes.
worldwide blew up on the scene. I would
Okay.
argue now LeBron, he paved the way for LeBron to be equally as worldwide. Like you can't-
I remember hearing a lot of stories about LeBron's reach, like all the way, like
their reach.
China.
I would
and
say
all
both
that
of their
other stuff,
reaches
like-
is across the globe.
Okay, I mean, I don't disagree. I didn't know if there was maybe some way to quantify that.
If you
I
look
think-
at a one-on-one physical specimen, you have to give the edge to LeBron. From a physique and athleticism standpoint, he's 6'8", 250. Jordan could not take him one-on-one. From a size standpoint, I would say LeBron elevates his teammates more than Jordan based on his ability to get them involved in the game, higher assists, higher rebounds. He had more overall impact. Jordan is absolutely the more efficient scorer, more go for the throat, kill shot scorer. But overall basketball player and overall impact, I give the nod to LeBron. I do agree that Jordan is more clutch, and you can't argue against 6 championships, 6 finals MVP. He never lost when he got into that situation. But the championship argument is tough because you said it, Bill Russell has the most championships. So how are you evaluating
Yeah.
the championships?
True.
LeBron is the only player LeBron won a championship with 3 different teams, and he's the only player in NBA history to lead a down 3-1 comeback. So he does have some great arguments in the finals.
He's got a
to
solid
his name.
resume.
Yeah.
He's got a solid resume, but he's also playing in a bitch league.
The National Bitch Association. 90s
I've never heard that before.
No,
I went off you.
good one.
I haven't. That's a good one.
I mean, I wish. Yes, you missed the physicality of the NBA of the '90s and early 2000s. The malice at the palace. You missed that. I think LeBron would have held up well just on his physical stature, but Jordan played in a more physical.
I think this is
time.
why I hate GOAT debates is because you're talking about different eras of time.
Yeah.
100%.
And level of competition.
You can never, ever, ever, ever put LeBron and Jordan on the same court. You just can't.
And if you could,
it's
it would
so
just
annoying.
be.
So it becomes opinionated. I mean, yeah, we got statistics to go off of, but again, your opinion is on what statistic is more valuable than
Right.
the other, right?
Right.
It's also the environment. Like, who's he playing? Who's Jordan playing against at that time? That's an amazing athlete compared. Like, who's in the league from one era to another?
Well, you also got to
Like,
think about who Jordan was playing with and who LeBron was playing with.
That's what I'm saying.
They both had
Not
running
against. I'm
mates.
talking about with.
Oh, like as a team.
Like
yeah,
everyone
that-
always put
that
Scotty
too.
up there with Jordan and LeBron. I
LeBron
mean, he
had D-Wade, he
Wade,
had Kevin Love, he
and
had
he had
Kyrie.
Bosh, he
Yeah.
had fucking what's his
He had
face saved
everybody.
his ass with that shot.
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen.
Yeah.
He had a lot of people.
They both. No one did it by themselves. Jordan was getting beat up by the Pistons, beat up by the Celtics by himself. So
Yeah.
that's fair for both of them.
I mean, but then at the end, you also have Jordan left the fucking sport for like what 3 years,
years,
2
yeah.
years
To go play
and then
baseball.
he came back and then won another three-peat.
Yeah, he did.
Are you fucking mad?
They
like,
did.
So I think to argue, just to put my 2 cents in. Most successful career, for sure, probably Bill Russell. 11 wins, probably. What, 11?
from a win.
What I
debate.
didn't know about this with Bill Russell, 11 and 13.
11 and 13, which is insane, though.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
absolutely insane.
Absolutely.
Greatest career, and someone shared this. I don't know where I saw it, but greatest career, Kareem. 3 national championships, 5 championships in the NBA, and 6 MVPs. It's pretty crazy.
100-point scoring game.
100-point scoring game.
That's-
MJ, where he gets it, he did not lose when it mattered most.
Correct.
And when we talk about the GOAT talk, it's always measured in wins versus losses at the biggest stage when everyone's watching. He never lost. Every GOAT that we compare in other sports, what did they do best? They won. They always won. LeBron James, you've said it, his size, his numbers don't lie. I don't think there's anyone out there that historically is going to touch him in our generation from probably
That's
when
tough.
we go bye-bye.
He's 39. He's still doing what
He's
he
still
did
doing
at
what he's doing.
22. The 27,
Is this
8,
kid in
8.
the league yet?
Next year?
About to be.
Jesus.
But the one thing that I will say, LeBron James has always had the most pressure.
Yes.
From the moment that man was in high school,
Jordan
he
would
had
have got
pressure.
crushed with his gambling stuff if their social media was more
Yeah.
around. I feel
And then
That doesn't come into the GOAT conversation, but you
The
can say
pressure.
LeBron has
The-
no blemishes
the-
on his from a personal
No
standpoint, from a
standpoint.
role model standpoint. LeBron has never,
some people don't like him.
yeah,
you
well,
don't have to
a lot
like
of-
him, but he never had any baggage brought with him versus Jordan. That gambling stuff, man, that a lot of people say the reason he left for 3 years.
It's a blemish on his history and
Yeah.
legacy.
Now, do you compare that? Is he not the GOAT for that reason? That's an opinionated answer.
Well, and then you put the last person in there that's always in maybe question of the GOAT is Kobe. The Mamba mentality, the insane work ethic. The guy was a nut job. But I think personally, you look at 1991. Sorry, Showtime, right? This is from Jordan's mouth. Sorry, Showtime. 1992, back-to-back. 93, first team ever to win 3 in a row. You can't beat that. Obviously, 94, 95.
Was it the first team? Because did Russell not win 3 in a row? 11 and 13.
Maybe,
I feel like he would
maybe
have
you
had
got
to.
me there. Maybe you
Okay.
got me there. Regardless, comes back 96. They win, what, 72 games? Win it again.
Yeah.
97, even with the flu game, he wins. And then
98.
98, no push-off.
No, 98 was fluke.
98 was a flu game?
Yeah.
Was
against
it?
Utah.
Okay. So he won 3-time back-to-back NBA championships.
He did.
And then LeBron James, I mean, what's his record in the actual championship?
4 and 6, I think. 4 and 7. One of those.
And how many years more has he played?
Now, this is a big one. How many times was he not on the better team? How can LeBron is playing against Steph Curry, who's arguably the greatest guard of all time, Kevin Durant, who's arguably one of the top 3 forwards of all time, Klay Thompson, who is arguably one of the top 3 three-point shooters of all time. That team, I mean, no one was beating that team. LeBron,
But you're arguing as a guy who put up the best numbers and is a freak on the court. From a size, there's just no excuse. You find a way to win.
I give LeBron, listen, where he probably loses this argument, and I know I'm going for LeBron, but as a Heat fan, it's fine. 2011 Dallas Mavericks, he choked, and Jordan never choked. But
when it mattered most.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jordan did not always play well in the playoffs, quote unquote. They always didn't get to the championship when they made the playoffs. And I think that sometimes we get a little bit discredit for what actually LeBron James has done. He's made it to the championship multiple times. So I will give LeBron that, though. But you're right.
it goes back to James with the eras. Just enjoy them while they're there, and you'll never get them to go head-to-head, but two fantastic, great players.
Also never lost in the Olympics.
Greatest of all time. Time is key,
that's it.
man. That's tough
Yeah,
to
it
debate.
is.
It
It is.
really is, because you got to take those errors into play. But
Ty, who you got?
I'm not equipped.
Neither are we.
abstaining.
Well, I think we're leaning more towards Jordan based off of this conversation. But if you have your 2 cents to add, anything that we didn't add in, let us know.
We're leaning on Jordan because there's 3 of us. I have a curveball for you guys. That's what I was laughing about earlier because I thought about this. One of them, he's going to fucking give me the claps, and I'm going to be happy. So, like, I know we're talking ball sports.
James loves
I
calling it
don't-
ball sports.
I know. Well, you know who I got that from is Adam, because this is where I'm going with this too. Is he'll only play ball sports. I don't know if we want to talk about this, but I think it's in the athleticism department. It's very interesting to think about board sports, about like more the track and field type sports or niche sports, like anything that would be in the Olympics, swimming, cross country, fucking skiing, like shit like that. I think it's an interesting thing to think about, like what athleticism truly stands for and like what it is. And it's practically the ability to play anything, any type of sport, and do incrementally better than most people can at that sport.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think there are people that are just good athletes in specific sports, and then they cannot translate in other areas. But then there's really good athletes that not only are great at their sport, but they are also great at basically anything else that they do. Anything that they try to do that has a level of balance and coordination as a part of it, they're good at. And it's interesting to kind of see like that's what is the real like true athleticism. Like you could say Zion. Okay, he's a freak fucking athlete, but I put him on a fucking surfboard and
Yeah, I mean,
he'll
look
look
at,
like
like,
the
Yeah, but
Like, what comes to mind is Shaun White.
Put him
Like,
in
look
the
at
NBA.
Shaun White.
He hasn't done
yeah.
that.
So Shaun White can do skating and snowboarding, but can he play basketball?
I don't think he
not.
can,
He's
and I
like
don't think it's a
5'8".
vice.
I mean,
He's short.
Travis Pastrana, like he's someone that literally excelled at
Motocross.
and he did what's the
Rally.
rally?
He does rally racing now. He actually took over for
Formula
Ken
One,
Block.
like those. I mean, NASCAR drivers, like it's athleticism in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just wanted to
It's hard.
No,
point that
it's a
out
good-
that there's
it's
other
fair.
facets
That's
of
fair.
athleticism.
We're very diverse
Good
here. We
point.
give
I
some
know.
other sports love.
I'm the one that does the board sports. I know where my stuff
As
lies.
good as LeBron is, I don't think he's
Same
coming down
thing
a
with
fucking
Kenny.
mountain, and I don't think he's coming to do a fucking 360
Well, no
flip like
shit.
Shaun White, right? Like
do a fucking McTwist.
he's not doing shit compared to like Shaun White is an amazing athlete,
yeah.
which
Hard to
is a
move that
really
frame.
good point because that's a completely different.
You want to
sport,
be a little bit
athlete.
smaller. I'm pretty sure Shaun White's not the biggest
No,
guy.
he's not.
No,
He's
he's
tiny.
not. But
But
what he
that's how
can
he
do
supports
is
his body.
fucking
I
amazing.
want to say
dude.
Tony Hawk's a little bit
Listen,
taller.
I was gonna say
Tony Hawk is.
He's
Tony Hawk's
taller.
an OG.
that guy could probably. Dude,
But see, that's why I
Stud.
think there are some cases to be pointed out where some of these more specialized sports have a better ability to translate into these ball sports, where the ball sports probably don't have the ability to come translate over to these sports. I don't know. That's maybe
Vice
it's a hot
versa,
take.
though,
I think
right?
it's.
I would agree that the ball sports would not translate well to the boards.
Yeah, but then put like Shaun White or put Tony Hawk in an NFL football game. Like
He could maybe.
I
kick.
come back.
maybe he can be a kicker.
punt.
Yeah.
I come back to whenever like I'm out with my friends or like throughout my life, when you see someone that goes and just attempts something and you're like, fuck, he's good at everything. And you know who actually comes to mind for that? Dylan. He's fucking good at anything he does. We played the spike ball tournament. He was fucking killing people. We put him on a fucking surfboard. He's amazing at it. He's played lacrosse. He's played hockey. He's played football. He's good. Now he's short. Basketball might come a little, a little different. It's not
No,
as
I think the
advantageous to him to play basketball. But I guarantee you, he could
Hold his own.
hold his own on a court.
Well, I think that all of the
normal
athletes
people.
that we see, at one point, they probably, and this is like early on when you're younger, you're like investigating what sports you like
Yeah.
and you're figuring it out. And then at one point when you realize you're going to be 6'9", you're like, basketball might not be a bad option compared to snowboarding. Right. So at one point you just like lead to one sport over another, and might be because of family tradition. It might be because of your physical being that you've evolved into. So there's just different
listening to a
levels.
comedian on the way over here. It's I can't remember his name. He's an Asian guy, and he's in movies too. I can't remember his fucking name. He's hilarious. But he said, like, when he grew up, he's like, I didn't play no football. He said, I went to sleepaway ping pong camp. And he said, I almost died. So there's 100 people trying to get to the freaking national team. And he was explaining, it was really funny. But again, like you said, culturally, I just brought me to that real quick. It was really funny.
Ken Jeong?
Maybe. He wears glasses.
Maybe.
I don't know.
He's really fucking funny, though. Sorry to pivot us. I know I went to a different route.
No, it's good.
You know me. I love the board sports.
You're the go sports guy.
Yeah, I just
We
like
like
doing
sports and we don't care who knows. We're shooting hoops to the Super Bowl.
Did you sing that? Did you make that song for this, James? Was that you?
That was James.
It was not, but I know that song. That's fantastic.
I've never heard
I
that.
used to say that shit in high school because of that fucking song. That's awesome.
Lonely Island song.
Yes, it is.
Funny.
Lonely
We like
Island.
sports and we don't care who knows.
What are you gonna say, John?
I don't know. I got something random.
Good.
Well, we're just
already
gonna keep
out here.
We're
man.
pivoting.
swinging right now. So, from a sporting event in history, right?
Miracle on Ice.
That's
Good
funny. I was
answer.
actually going to bring that up. So, great job. We'll start with that. So, from a sporting event in history that you wish you could be at based off of the actual sport event that took place and or because it's a historic venue or location, anything that comes to mind? So, Miracle on Ice is a huge one.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know if I would be at that one. I think sentimentally, because I had this moment with my dad and we're both Giants fans, I would have definitely wanted to be at one of the Super Bowls. Probably the one with was the one with Plaxico Burress, the one where the catch
Undefeated.
happened.
The catch,
Yes, that was the
helmet
catch.
catch.
That was
I would
undefeated.
probably want to be at
Yeah.
that one.
That one.
Yeah.
That because I mean, just me and my dad. Obviously, we
That was
had
history,
in common.
too.
Yeah, it was history. It's some people would say that's one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time.
100%.
I think being at an event that has a more dramatic turn of events probably would be best because of like just the transition, which is like that, right? That's like a big.
But he said history, so it already happened. So pick one.
I don't have one. I don't know.
I mean,
Come
there's
on, Miami.
obviously
Would
a
you go?
ton,
I'm
but-
interested to hear if he'd go NBA or if he would go football.
Football, I'm thinking the Colts AFC Championship comeback against the Patriots in 2006 when they were down.
Okay.
They were down by a lot at halftime. It was
Deep
first
cut.
time.
I remember that.
Deep cut.
First time Manning had beat Brady, then went on to win the Super Bowl. But, I think I wish I could have been at the Game 6 Ray Allen three-pointer, which fucking fans left for. If I would have been there, I would not have been leaving. But that was just
Quick.
from the edge of death,
Oh, yeah.
basically. To
I watched that game.
iconic.
That was amazing.
So put me down for Game 6.
Just quick pivot.
Like that.
Us three. Do you think Ryan is more of a football fan or a NBA fan?
NBA.
I think NBA too. I've seen the passion that goes into it, and it's just different.
It is.
Well, here's the difference. Seriously, you've seen the success.
Yeah.
I know.
The Hurricanes fucking tear your heart out. The Colts,
Okay.
just for me, it's not that I don't like. I'm passionate about the Colts. I just don't have the opportunity to watch them as much as when I was growing up. When you had
Fair.
Peyton Manning on 4 o'clock CBS or Sunday Night Football every Sunday. But between the Heat and the Hurricanes, yeah, the Heat have enjoyed success. So that's why you've gotten to see it. And also, for whatever reason, they just happen to be in the playoffs when we're at your lake house or we're all hanging out. And yes.
Fair. The success plays.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, anyways, that was just quick. Johnny, what's your historical?
There's a bunch, but I like the Miracle on Ice, man. That'd be really cool to be at, especially like in the 1980s during the start of the Cold War. and an amateur team beat a 4-time freaking Russian team that has never lost. Like, amateurs. That's like us going out there
Yeah.
at 17, 18, 19 years old and just beating the best at what they do, which is obviously the Soviet Union, I guess.
Well, to that point, you think about the movie. Does the movie give you chills?
Dude,
It gives
that-
me chills.
That movie's great.
So think about actually witnessing it or actually being there in person, and when the movie itself, and you already know the outcome and you still get chills from it, that's a great one.
The other one that comes to mind, and I say this because it was like my first like really welcome to college football, and don't like bowl teams, but is 2006 the Rose Bowl national
Ooh,
championship.
yes, Vince Young.
Vince Young scoring with 19 seconds left. Like, that's a game that just like him biting the rose at the end. Like, I don't know. That's just one that really resonates.
Again, dramatic turn of events.
Taking down a
Yeah.
dynasty and
Like,
Bush and Liner.
Yeah, which no one. That one was good. Or, sorry, just last one. Good old fever pitch. The Boston Red Sox finally winning the World Series.
Coming back from 3-0.
3-0. Kurt
Yeah.
Schilling's freaking blood sock. Like,
Yeah.
those are really cool ones. Like, but obviously I'd love to see my team win a championship at something, but it's okay. We'll be there.
Let me ask a similar question, just a different way of looking at it. And you guys, listeners can kind of reminisce on this, but is there a specific moment in your athletic career that you would love to relive? And what was that moment? Briefly, we don't have to go fucking crazy on that, but is there a specific moment that hits you? And I'll go with one real quick. There was, as a kicker, I don't get to score touchdowns very often. I've only done it once. I've done 2-point conversions, but never a touchdown. And I would love to be able to relive that moment of that touchdown, because I just remember getting off the ground and seeing the fucking line underneath my waist and knowing that I got in the end zone. And I was like, holy fucking shit, I got in the fucking end zone.
Not to interrupt you, can you paint that picture? You're just talking about scoring a touchdown.
Yeah,
What happened?
I'll
so
paint
everyone-
it real quick.
Yeah.
I just don't want to spend too much time on this specific topic, although it's really cool, but it's more us reminiscing, and maybe hopefully the listeners can reminisce on moments in their lives. But we were, I don't know, we're within the 10. It wasn't like a crazy thing. We did we lined up to go for a field goal, 4th down, and we ran a pitch to the left. Nick Lasala, not Ryan, although Ryan has pitched the ball to me as a holder. We ran left. He pitched me the ball and just kind of scooted into the end zone.
I love it.
So
that's pretty badass.
But it was a surreal moment because I don't get that opportunity.
Yeah.
And to do it in college, although I could probably argue there was probably a level of higher competition in high school for me, but
First game
nevertheless.
too?
Yeah, it was the first game. It was the second touchdown in history for our.
I mean, that's a pretty cool moment.
So I will technically go down in the record books for first points, which I care less about the field goal, but that touchdown, the second touchdown ever, was.
That's awesome.
That was a pretty cool moment for me.
Wrestling.
How did you?
Oh, dude, I just know you, bro.
There's two. One, we had, like, coming from New Jersey, we had like pretty small town feel, high competition compared to. I mean, like, you guys are just in a different football arena in Florida. You guys play it all year round and things like that, or you have the opportunity to play spring ball, things like that. So I rotated sports a lot. So I had some opportunities to play track, lacrosse, wrestling, football. But there's a neighboring town, Allentown, and there was a couple of kids that were really good. And there was one kid specifically that went to the NFL. He made it to the NFL and played, and he was like always like this big shot. And as a DB that was like looking to go play college football. At the time, he got recruited to play at a college up north, big college, and he played in college and then went to the NFL. At the time, I didn't know he was going to hit NFL level. But to tackle someone like that, where you know he's going to play college ball, we're from a small school, so we didn't have like fucking 20 kids going to play college football. If you had 2, it was like, holy shit. And that's where we came from. So tackling someone at that stature to save a game was a big deal, and that happened to me once. And it was a It was just a fucking open field, straight up DB, like safety coming down to tackle this kid, and he was like a slot more or less. He was just a fucking athlete, this kid, and he was big. He was a big kid, and he just came out, caught like a little pop pass out of a slot, and then it was just me and him, and I tackled him to make sure that to kind of seal the win for us, which was big. But then there was this other time against another neighboring town when I was wrestling, and wrestling was really unique because it was like one-on-one, and like it's you and nothing. But at the same time, your one-on-one directly affects the team because you have team points. So not getting pinned is a really important thing if like you're facing someone who's like really fucking good. And there was wrestling in the North was very competitive. You have a lot of fucking really amazing wrestlers. It's a very aggressive sport. Debatable that the tri-state area breeds some of the best wrestling athletes there is in the country.
I hear Iowa's pretty good.
They're like at a college level, Ohio, Iowa,
Nebraska.
There's some different places, but from a younger kid standpoint, from high schools and things like that, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York breed some fucking amazing wrestling athletes.
Because they're a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, it's fucking great. So I was up against a kid who was a state champion, and I beat him, and that was like,
Hell yeah.
they
Nice.
they were like, just don't get pinned, and I fucking beat him. And I was even like, I was on top of him, and there's like this position where you have, it's called legs, and you literally have him like on the ground, and your legs are wrapped around theirs and you're like fucking just basically in complete control. And all I had to do was like just kind of slide out of legs, get to a side, and fucking roll him over. And I won by points. I did not pin him, but for me that was like tough because you go in and you're like, this kid's fucking big. He's a senior. He's gonna fucking kick my
David
ass.
versus Goliath.
And that shit was awesome. And that for me stood out too because it was like a one-on-one thing, which affected the team too. But a one-on-one win is like,
That's cool.
is nice.
That's awesome.
I want to ask a wrestling question, but I don't want to segue us, so I will hold it. I think for me, no, I'm going to ask it. Fuck it. Your thoughts as a wrestler, if you ever had to wrestle a girl? I feel like it's a lose-lose situation.
I didn't have to because I was.
I've always just wondered
But
that. Like,
we've-
if you're in that predicament, you have to.
Do they segment boys and girls wrestling?
No, it's all combined.
No, well,
It is.
these days you have different. These days there are two teams,
Okay.
but
Okay.
when we wrestled, I had a friend Matt who was, I think he was like 103 or something. He was on the beginning portion of our basically wait list, and he wrestled a girl at a like a competition.
Yeah.
And honestly, his mentality is the same as mine, which is like, if you want to be involved in that, then you have to play with at that level.
Then you have to just go.
If that's your forego. So like how I would think of that is like if you have entered that level of competition, then you feel as an individual that you can compete at that level. I am not going to lower my level of competitiveness
Right.
because you are different in any way, shape, or form. There's been same levels where people have had disabilities and
Level of
wrestled.
respect that goes with that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, why should I treat you
You're
different if you
respecting the
entered that
sport.
sport? I'm not going to... And if you want that, then you should probably enter a different sport or something. I don't know. Or enter
That's
a
why
different
wrestling's
level of
weight class,
competition.
right?
It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
I've just always wondered that it just the mentality of someone in that position. I've never wrestled. I wouldn't know that. So
And there were some girls that were fucking amazing.
I'm sure.
And kick some ass.
I'm
I mean,
sure.
they try to make it a level playing field because of the weight class stuff.
Yeah, they have
Because,
to.
I mean, you're not
Yeah,
going to
you're
do a
not gonna
250
wrestle.
versus
Right,
a
right, right,
103-pound person.
Yeah.
Like, there's, they're going to get pinned.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you just fucking sit on them.
I appreciate
But I
you sharing
mean-
that. Yeah, that's
Yeah, no, I mean, now though, like I have a cousin who's a female wrestler who's has got an amazing opportunity at the college level.
nice. That's awesome.
She's on a female team.
It also
So,
begs the
that's different.
comment that there probably has to be enough people for there to
Right.
actually
Yeah, they have a
be
whole
teams,
fucking
right?
team. Yeah,
If
then
there's
it was
one
like-
girl in the freaking
Right.
tri-county area, like, that's hard to
You also have to think,
do.
and more power to her. Most likely, she beat someone to get into that role.
Mm-hmm.
Like she had a wrestle off at her school level to earn the position as varsity to compete at that level. So
True.
she already earned that.
True.
So again, it as like equal opportunity of competition. She earned her position there and beat someone to be there. More than likely.
Yeah.
So what? I'm not supposed to give her the level of competition that she's asking for?
Right.
I think it's just all fair. Now, though, again, team split.
No. Interesting. For me, it goes back to high school football because I think we all can attest there's nothing like Friday Night Lights, just that feeling.
Oh,
And
yeah.
We had a run my junior year, Road Warriors, where we had we lost in the game to go to states, but we had all of our playoff games were on the road. They were all about 2 hours drive. I think the last one was maybe 45, but just that span of 3 weeks and those trips together, not only the games and going the underdog story and all that stuff, but just that those moments over that 3 week span. I take that with me and would love to go back and just not change anything, just redo it. I mean, you'd love to win the last one, but just those moments were can't take it away.
I gotta ask this question.
Yeah.
Which high school?
Which high school? Fair. That was at Archbishop
McCarthy. That's who I figured it was gonna
Yeah.
be with.
Yeah. Funny though, good. Fair.
Johnny, if you didn't know, Ryan went to 3 high schools.
Was it only 3?
It was only 3 and 4
Oh,
years.
Jeez. I'll throw a curveball. Not baseball related, but basketball. 8th grade. Travel team. We were nasty, and we had the opportunity to go to Fort Wayne, Indiana, to play in the tournament for AAU. Was it AAU? USSSA? Whatever it was. Kind of learned we talk about locker rooms and stuff. Like, dude, when we talk about like growing up and just practicing and getting to know people from all different backgrounds, like this team was just in sync. And I was this height in 8th grade, so I was like a 4 or 5. I was a 6th man pretty much. So I used to just go out there and just cover and play some defense. Outside of that, I don't know what I was out there for. But we made a run, and we made it to, I think, the Elite 8, and we lost. But, like, just the memories, like seeing what those people are doing now, like, don't really keep in touch with most of them. But, just like the journey and, like, being able to travel in 8th grade to, like, a different state, like, that was pretty cool. Gym Rats basketball, like, the actual place, there's, like, 25-plus courts. You play like in their arena where they've got the big jumbotron up top. It was pretty cool. And that was the end of my career in basketball.
It was not actually because
that's right.
we have a moment of Johnny that is. I'm surprised you didn't use this one as basketball.
The YMCA?
Yeah, I don't know if it was these
We brought this
specific
up.
classes.
We brought this up
We've brought up
a few times. It's probably been up about 3 times on the episode. But go ahead and bring it up one more time.
I just want to go
embarrass me on the
That's
fucking air.
that's
Let's do
right.
it.
Well, Johnny had a moment where I think the first foul was called. That there was no. It wouldn't be the first, but Johnny's glasses flew off, and he's there going, "My glasses, my glasses," and the ref called. He can't see, and the refs called the foul, and everyone's like, "No one touched him," but.
To be fair, this was part of a freaking strategy here, okay? Why? Who were we playing?
There were some really good people.
Who were we playing?
Florida Gulf Coast, basically.
Nick Comer and Austin freaking Rivers, dude. Who are
Not on the same team, but still.
Austin Rivers, who's in the freaking NBA.
And then you got me just running the baseline.
Yeah. we're running a 1-3-1. This guy's running the
Griff played
baseline.
pretty good that game.
James goes, what do I do? James, run
Just
the
run
baseline.
back and forth. Just run back and forth.
Okay, fellas, I got it. I'll pass the ball and run back and forth. Good.
But yeah, love me some YMCA basketball.
Those are some good moments. Thank you for sharing, everyone.
Yeah.
Hopefully, everyone listening is able to kind of reminisce on their careers as well. I just had one last comment, just about sports in general. I know you guys agree with me, and I guarantee listeners agree with me. And I know there's a lot of other things out there in life that aren't sports that people have passion for, but you cannot argue that sports just bring you just this emotional aspect. Like it's almost poetic. They just touch your hearts. I mean, it's amazing because people that have played sports can relate and empathize with the struggles that every athlete goes through to try to become the top of their game. And especially, like you guys mentioned, a lot of swings. Kenny, you mentioned it a lot, where things just dramatically change. Like everything was supposed to go this way. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just, there's nothing fucking better. I mean, even sports movies are some of the best critically acclaimed movies out there.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's awesome.
Just the lessons too, the life lessons you learn at different stages. You could learn it and go through it in Pee Wee's in eighth grade, right? The life lessons you have the opportunity to learn by doing sports, partaking in sports at any level, it's just awesome.
And I think it's a huge reason why people gravitate towards sports, how they cherish sports, while they're idolized. It's because the emotional, physical, everything about sports is just, it's almost like life kind of sucks. And it gets in the way, and it's escape, and it kind of sports teach you life.
They do.
And
100%.
but it's most people play sports when they're children, and so like that's when times were a little bit easier. And so I think there's just a natural ability for people to want to love sports because of what they had, that experience growing up, their childhood.
Yeah.
Which is also why I brought into the, hey, can you guys reflect on something that happened in your career that you wish you could relive?
Great.
Anyway, if you guys want to add more to that.
No,
don't know
I'll
how
say
you
something really
tap
quick because this kind of hit home. I had the opportunity to like sit in on a panel of like previous student athletes and like in the workforce now, and this gentleman, he's a white male. He played at a very big school in college. Came from a very wealthy family, and he had a story to share. And what I thought really hit home was, for the first time in his life, and we talk about like diversity, equity, inclusion, right? First time in his life in a locker room at the Division I level, he finally felt like a minority. And the opportunity he got to really learn different cultures, backgrounds where people grow up, why the way people are, how they were raised, their upbringing. It was an eye-opening experience for him, and it changed him because of that. And I think all of us can attest, like, sports shaped our mindset very early on, accepting people the way they are and not giving a care in the world of where, what, who, whatever, right? And those are things that just sports that resonate with me the most. It's like you almost wish every single person in this world could be part of an environment like that because you learn so much.
I think of this like when you like I played on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball in football my whole career. Like we ran with thin teams in the North. So you're on everything. You're on fucking punt team,
Right.
punt return team, kickoff team, kick return team, special teams, everything, right? So when you get tackled, like when you're fucking running that ball and you get hit and you get fucking laid out and you lose your air and you're laying on the ground,
Here comes extreme.
tell me when someone reaches out their hand to help you up, tell me if you give a fuck who they are, what they look like.
Nope.
It does not matter.
No.
That hand, that reach to say like, hey, I got you, man, is worth everything. And at the end of the day, like those characteristics mean more than anything else. Like anything. It does not mean their ethnicity, their race, anything. That's all bullshit. Like that is so meaningful and so powerful.
Yeah.
Sportsmanship's no different than humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sports make you a better person.
I mean, because
simply put.
to your point, the person that could be helping you up is probably on the other team too. Sometimes.
Could be your team, could be the other team. Like it has no.
You're in battle
It does
with that
not
person.
matter, man.
But it doesn't matter.
No.
I think, and it also brings
both.
egos into, like, you get on the field, you talk about wrestling, one-on-one, you could be the biggest trash talker, like, you can be humbled.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter, and that feeling of being humbled changes you, right?
Yep.
And just, at the end of the day, doesn't matter what you look like, it is who is the best.
All that doesn't
Here's the
matter.
task, who's the best at it, one-on-one, team, whatever, there's no questioning it. It is a win-loss situation, so.
It's an awesome thing, honestly.
It is.
It's great because it's like that bond too that you get with like people that are on your side, or even when you're like playing against someone, you're going at it, and at the end, like the game's over, you're like, dude, that was fucking awesome.
I love that aspect in soccer growing up where you play the sport and then at the end of the game, no matter win or lose,
hands.
Right.
you line up
Yep.
and you gave a little high fives.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want to fucking call that shit, but
I don't know what it's called.
there were people that were sour and they would be crying in that
Yeah.
line as they're walking by and they wouldn't shake anyone's fucking hands.
Yeah.
But hey,
and your coach
you know
is like,
what?
hey, fucking muscle up, like.
Yeah, you got to learn.
Act
You gotta
right
learn
too,
from
because you had people
stuff.
that were like, "No, I don't want to hold his hand. I don't want to clap his hand." And the coach was like, "Bro, if you don't fucking hit his hand,
Yeah.
man, like,
How often have we
It's where
talked
children
about,
become
good.
adults.
how often
Yeah.
have we talked about learning from failure?
yeah,
You eat that in sports. You hit that loss, and where could we? And then your drive to improve for next year for the next game.
yeah,
It's a beautiful
Harder-
thing.
yeah.
It really is a beautiful thing.
that discipline, man.
You learn so much. The word we can rattle off a million adjectives.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Well, tell us in the comments how your life has been impacted by sports. It doesn't matter what sport, whether it's a board sport or a ball sport or any other thing that may pop up. But any sport out there, if you've
Share your moments.
active in it, share your moment or let us know how it's impacted your life. We'd love to hear it because, as you can tell, we're fanatics about sports in general, and we love to know how it's impacted you. But until then,
Bender continues.